All right, took a bunch of boards to California, and this was my favorite one, the Mencel Daystar 5.3, 19.5, 2 and 3/8. The outline is symmetrical, but the fin setup is asymmetrical. This is one of my first sessions in California wearing a full winter wetsuit. Had some trouble getting in position. This was my first good wave. That turn felt really spicy until that part. So the rails are really thin on this thing, and you could just see I step my foot back here, and when I put it on the rail, it just flies into the turn. Almost too fast. That was one of the things when I first surfed it in San Francisco. I don't have any footage of it, but I really had to learn how to harness the speed of this board. And once you pivot it, once you put it on a rail, as you can see here, it just flies out of the turn. So a lot of riding this surfboard is just figuring out where to place the turns, not turning too early. And here you can see the fin setup. So it's a quad setup on my heels, and on the toe side is a keel or a big straight up twin fin. That's what I'm riding right here is the Album Goofy Foot set. So it would be opposite if you were regular foot. It's not meant for only going one direction, so you're going to see me surfing front side a lot, but there's some backside later on. The idea of asymmetrical is not that it's for front side waves or backside waves. It's just because your toes flex differently than your heels, so you're putting different kind of pressure on your heel side versus your toe side, and the fin setup reflects the asymmetrical nature of surfing itself. So that's why a lot of people have really turned to this kind of surfboard design. I want to try it in some different sizes as well. This size works really well for me. See, the board is really small and chippy. This turn felt pretty amazing, I have to say. We'll see that one in slow motion and see that this board responds really well to just the slightest presses. So here's the bottom turn, just holding that water, and it just flies me up into that section where I can reach my foot back to the tail, press, the fins just slide out and then catch with a lot of control. Here's a smaller day, and here it's looking more like an ordinary fish. You can see it just handles speed so well. I make this section, probably should have done a turn a little bit earlier, and then when it tracks on the rail, it's just like it's a train on a train track. Wearing in this with the wetsuit with the yellow band is a 3-2 still blue, so I'm wearing that with a squid lid. The suit I was wearing previously is or at the start is a 4 mil hooded. Little head dipper here, and then I'm going to slow-mo this one because here's one of those turns where just the board carries more speed through the turn, literally bogs not at all on this heel side. So in essence, that is like a backside turn, right? That's a heel side turn. So my heels have the quad set up, engaged in the water. All right, here's like the super magical session. Afternoon session, surfing pretty much alone on this perfect A-frame. You can just see how every tiny little press I do, the rails engage in the water. And then it does maneuvers like this, which like for me is a little bit more advanced, like getting the fins out a little bit, little rail grab here, chucking the fins just a little bit. And the board is just so responsive. This is what I like about this surfboard, is that it doesn't take a lot of pressing for it to do what you want it to do. And then it's in a way, it's very forgiving because of the sensitive rails, that I can just engage it. I don't bog, it's not going to make me fall over, like catch a rail, dig rail, because it's too thick for me. That said, it would be a very difficult surfboard in these dimensions for anybody bigger than me, who wasn't like a pro level surfer. I can see a design like this in honestly like 7.2 for an intermediate surfer. I can't wait to kind of try these in a mid-length, not even just for an intermediate, but just to have the feeling of asymmetry with more volume. You can see how small this surfboard is. Here's the backside ride. I slip out a little bit right there, but recovered pretty well. Really reacts to the tail. You can see when the wave slows up, the board just carries the speed. offering me a little 360 right there. It's really responsive to that kind of thing. Here's another backside ride. Pump, highline, going for the roundhouse here. And just easy to pivot around, carrying speed into that whitewater. And into the sun. Highline. Yeah, there's that rail just engaging with speed through into the whitewater. I'm going to show that one again. That turn felt amazing. And almost more amazing was the setup right here going high. So this gives me all the speed. Stay in a crouch, come down, looking at this shoulder, pressing through, and you see the board. That's the thing that we're seeing all the time consistently, is that out of the bottom turn, it just gains so much more speed. There again, the rail holds. So I'm not skipping out on those. I'm pressing really hard, and it's just holding the rail. And these fins are big that are in here for such a little surfboard. There, I almost fell over, and then it just recovered again. So you're really able to kind of go to the max on how far you're going to lean on this thing. This little bonus section. I'm going to show this again just because this is important right here, where I almost like bobble over and fall, and then into the pivot I just get over the fins and they just stick in the water and guide me back to that whitewater. Nice little rebound bounce. To go back to something pedagogical, you know, you can always be far back in the white. Oh, so here I'm riding it with the keel on the toe. So this was my brother filming at this wave called Peaks, and I kind of like the keel. It looks almost faster to me. See how even more spicy and responsive it is? So I'll have that a bit in the blog post to show you the fin that I have in there. It's a K2. Really different feeling, and here's it released a little more with the keel. Here you see that release, but then holds when I'm back in the whitewater. So awesome board. Thank you, Charles. Everybody should get on the asymmetrical program. Dig it.